Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about buying versus renting. This is going to be more of a newbie video, so if you're an advanced real estate investor or you've purchased a few properties, this may give you a little bit of insight, but it's not really going to be a deep dive. This is really for somebody who's really making their first decision of should I buy a house or should I rent. If you like the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you leave a comment below or DM me on Instagram, I'll be sure to make a video or answer any of your questions that you may have for me. So the first question you need to ask yourself about buying or renting your next property: how long do you plan on staying where you are? If you only plan on staying in this property that you're moving to for a few years, buying may not be the best decision for you, especially if you don't know the area. If you know the area and you plan on staying for at least 3 years, then buying could be a good decision. But if you're not sure, there's a few reasons why renting is going to be your best option. So if this is your first purchase, you're not going to be aware that you're going to have some closing costs. You're going to have to pay for an inspection. You're going to have to pay closing costs. You're going to have to pay an attorney possibly. You may have a lot of fees in relation to your mortgage. Closing on real estate is typically about 3 to 4%. You want to estimate your closing costs of whatever your purchase price is. So take that into consideration. You also, when you start paying on your mortgage, you're typically only going to be paying the interest back in the first few years. So you're not really hitting that principal amount that you owe on the property. So if in a few years you try and sell, you're not going to have any equity in this property unless you did a value add buy, which is where you buy it below market value and you do some renovations either yourself or hire somebody, knowing that the property is going to be worth more in the end. If you're new to investing, you really got to study this. You want to talk to some agents and contractors who have done this before, and they can lead you in the right direction. But when you sell a property, you're going to get hit with a few fees also. So buying, you get hit with some fees, and selling, you're going to get hit with some fees. When selling, you're going to get hit with a commission. The agent commission is typically 5 to 6%. Depending where you live in the country, some agents may be a little less, but realistically, you're going to be somewhere around 5 to 6%. Another really big factor that you want to keep in mind is your savings. When you buy the property, like I said, you're going to be spending about 3% on closing costs, and you're going to have to make a down payment. How much are you putting down on this property? If you're putting 5 to 10 to 20%, depending on the type of loan you have, after you finish with that, do you have enough money to make a repair? If you don't have at least $10,000 saved, buying may not be your best option. You're going to have, when you buy a house, if you've never been a homeowner, your furnace is going to break, the water heater might break, the roof may leak, a window may crack. There's so many costs associated with owning a property, especially if you're not handy or understand how to fix everything. Yeah, you can watch a couple YouTube videos, but you may not be able to fix your water heater or furnace on your own. So be sure that you have, after closing costs, at least $10,000 saved up. That's going to be my advice to you on that. So now I'm going to give you a few reasons why, if you're still listening, you should be buying. So right now, the government is saying inflation is about 5%. Realistically, if you've bought anything over the course of the last few months, you've seen prices go up way more than 5%. So we're really looking at a minimum of 10% inflation right now. And according to everyone besides mainstream media, it's only going to last longer. It could turn into hyperinflation. We're hoping not, but you never know what's really going to happen. So based on that, buying over renting is going to be a good thing because over the course of a few years, your mortgage payment's going to stay the same. Where when you rent, your rent's going to go up a minimum of 2%. And if you have some type of hyperinflation, when your lease is up, your landlord's basically going to kick you out and find somebody who can pay what the market's asking at that time. And that could be very high possibly. So when you buy a property that you're going to live in, I really recommend a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. A 30-year fixed rate mortgage means that that interest rate is going to be locked in for 30 years no matter what happens. As long as you keep making your payments, that interest rate is going to stay the same. Right now, you can get a property for about 3%, give or take a few points. Now, if you get a property locked in at 3% and inflation is somewhere between 5 and 10, then this mortgage is now an asset to you. This is basically going to fight inflation for you over the next 30 years. If you really want to learn more about inflation and 30-year fixed rate mortgage and ways of taking advantage of that, George Gammon talks a lot about it. He's the Rebel Capitalist. And you also have Jason Hartman, who does a deep dive comparing the price of real estate compared to oil, gold, and a lot of different commodities. It's a really interesting video. You can find it on YouTube. They're both really great when it comes to real estate investing. If you have any questions or comments about the video, be sure to leave them below. Also, be sure to smash that like button for me.